First of all, as always, thank you for your patience. I appreciate everybody standing by while we try and get as much detail as we can on this. I can tell you that this all started earlier this morning in the Canaveral Groves area. It started about 7:45 is the time that we first got a call on this. What happened is an individual who was driving, it was actually the first victim we have in this, was driving their black Dodge. You can see it somewhat behind me. They were driving it in the Canaveral Groves area, saw what they thought was two stranded motorists. They stopped, being a good citizen, stopped to render aid to try and help them out. As they stopped their vehicle, one of the suspects pointed a gun at them and carjacked their vehicle. The individual immediately reported it, and our team began to search for the stolen vehicle that had been carjacked from the initial victim. Around 1 o'clock, one of our K-9 deputies spotted the vehicle still in the same vicinity at a store, attempted to get in a position where they could determine if it was the exact vehicle, but before they could, the vehicle spotted them, or the driver spotted them and took off, and so we weren't able to get on it and able to get behind it. Fortunately, STAR was up. Our aviation unit was up. They were up on another mission, and they started to look around the area trying to find it. They couldn't locate it right away, but another one of our deputies located the vehicle around 524 and I-95. At that point, they were able to direct STAR to the vehicle, and STAR began to keep a watch on the vehicle. It was driving at an extremely high rate of speed. Our patrol deputies backed off of the vehicle as we didn't want to put anybody at risk, and trying to let STAR do their job that they do so well. STAR maintained surveillance on the vehicle. We believe that the driver knew that STAR had surveillance on them. They went into, from the Cocoa area, they went into Rockledge. In Rockledge, they went down, got on Morrell, went into Vieira, did a U-turn, came back up, got to Eyster, got out to US 1, traveling at a high rate of speed, northbound on US 1 into Cocoa Village. They got off on Florida Avenue in Cocoa Village and eventually came back out on 520 just across the causeway. Come across 520, the driver was driving eastbound in the westbound lane. Our deputies deployed stop sticks, and as they deployed the stop sticks, we were able to take out two of the vehicle's tires. The suspect immediately jumped out and went over to the white Jeep Patriot you see still parked over at the gas pumps, tried to carjack a second victim there. That victim resisted, and the individual, realizing that everything was closing in on him, then went out into the street and tried to carjack two more victims, one of them driving a white Chevy and another one driving a gold Buick. We know the suspect was armed, as that is the weapon was being brandished to try and get the drivers out of their vehicle. At the same time all this is taking place, you'll see another vehicle parked off, a white Chevrolet as well. An off-duty armed security guard saw what was taking place. Again, another good citizen here in Brevard County trying to do the right thing. Started to engage the suspect. As that is taking place, one of our deputies actually begins to engage the suspect. The off-duty security guard, who we couldn't have scripted this any better, immediately retracts from the situation, giving the deputy the opportunity to deal face-to-face with it. And our deputy is now facing down the suspect's weapon. The suspect clearly was armed. There's no doubt about it. The weapon is here at the scene. And our deputy shot multiple times, and significant injuries to the suspect. The suspect was not only was the suspect violent in all the carjacking, but even after being shot multiple times, the suspect continued to fight. And our deputies had to try and restrain him while also rendering aid to try and save the individual's life. The suspect was transported to a hospital, and we are waiting on an update on the status of that individual. We're not releasing our deputy's name at this time, also not releasing the suspect's name because we're still trying to finalize some of the investigative points. I will tell you, most importantly, our deputy is no injuries. None of our team was hurt. Fortunately, none of our citizens were hurt by this individual's violent actions. Our deputy did exactly what he needed to do to control the situation and to neutralize the threat. And I will tell you that I am extremely proud of our team, each and every one of them, for how they handled this, how aggressively they went after what is a very violent subject, And when we have more for you later, I think you'll get a chance to see the level of violence that took place in this. So I'll take any questions. Melanie, I saw your hand first.
Thank you, Sheriff. Did the suspects ever fire at your deputy once, obviously, they were face to face?
Nothing that we have at the scene at this time indicates that. Again, as you guys can see, our crime scene still going through the scene. Our agents are doing investigative interviews, but at this point, nothing to indicate that. But again, he was clearly armed and not only put our deputy's life at risk, but also the victims of the cars that he was trying to carjack.
Extreme speeds with your chopper, you had trouble keeping up with him.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, Star does an amazing job at keeping watch over our team and our citizens out here. And as you said, Star faced some difficulty in trying to keep up with the individual. And this individual only had one thing in mind, and that was being violent, stealing people's cars, putting their lives at risk, and eventually putting our deputies' lives at risk. And as you know, if you do that here, you're going to end up exactly where he is.
There were 2 suspects, Sheriff?
Initially, from what our initial stuff at the 745 carjacking, there were 2 suspects. Now, there's only 1 suspect here, so we're not certain what's happened in between. We're still trying to put those pieces together.
And what can you say of that tactic of kind of staging this broke-down vehicle, waiting for somebody to do the right thing, do the neighborly thing, and offer to help, and that's when they pounce?
Yeah, you know, obviously, as I said, these individuals had evil in their heart. Certainly, this guy has no conscience, no regard for human life, and you know, if we don't know at this point if they were actually stranded, or if they used it as a ploy, and certainly our team will be able to figure that out as we go.
Is the suspect wanted in previous carjacking, Sheriff?
I think we'll have a little bit more on that for you in just a little bit when we do our next update. But I think you'll see the violent nature of this individual as the night progresses.
Sheriff, we know the suspect was armed. Did he aim at the deputy or refuse to drop the weapon? I don't know if he complied with your orders. What happened?
Yeah, everything we have now is that the deputy was in harm's way, that the individual was pointing at. We also take into account he had already pointed the gun at the victims of the intended carjackings as well. So to close out, again, thank you guys for your patience. I know we kind of moved you around a little bit today, but we wanted to get you up and let you get a little bit of the backdrop of the scene. Our public information officer will have more for you. I know Todd's here. He'll have more for you in a little bit as things continue to develop. But at this point, as I said, the most important thing to us is that none of our citizens were hurt, other than facing the fear of this violent individual, and none of our deputy and none of our team was hurt. So that's the most important thing to me. All of our team is solid and did a great job. So.